did yesterday? What did we do yesterday? Here's a little reminder.
Oh, yeah.
What did we do yesterday? Eva?
With equality, we got books and we wrote down the name of the people and we put down the page names and text evidence and wrote what it was about.
Perfect. So we used text evidence. And what were we specifically looking for people? What kind of people were we looking for? Jake?
Great leaders.
Great leaders. Perfect. So if you'll feast your eyes upon the reading I can statements for today. The first one is the same from yesterday. It's at the top of your sheet. It says, I can use guiding questions to help me find information that is meaningful and useful. So yesterday we began our research. Today some of you will probably wrap up your research and move into the landmark part. So the next two are about those. It says, I can identify landmarks in Texas, and I can design a landform honoring a famous leader. So today you may move into the actual design portion after your research is done. What we're going to do is we're going to quickly look at a PowerPoint of some of the major landforms in Texas, and we're going to see if you and your partners, thank you, May, recognize this. So what I want you to do is turn to your shoulder partner.
They call it the microphone.
And also,
I was about to go there, but they but it's in Dallas. We've had field trips that
Five.
like in first grade.
3, 1. Very good. All right, does anybody recognize this? Has anybody been here before? I heard some good conversations about a huge elevator. Owen?
well, I've seen it because all the time we go to Mavs games, we pass it almost every single time.
Perfect. So what city is this major landmark in?
Dallas.
Dallas. Good. All right, what I want you to do is we've talked about some other wonderful landmarks. Let's see if we recognize this one. Okay. Go ahead and talk to your face partner this time. See if you can figure out what this is. Okay, what I want you to do next is you are going to, with your shoulder partner, I want you to brainstorm different landmarks that you may have been to. It could be in Texas. It could be in the United States. Maybe you traveled outside of the United States and you saw a landmark. Okay? What I want you to do is we're going to go back and forth just like we've done before. So find your shoulder partner. Your partner with the longest hair is going to go first. And you're going to bounce back and forth. We've done this before. One person says a landmark, then next person. One person, then next person. Okay, be patient if any think time. Go. Longest hair.
I've seen this next to my grandparents live there, and there's this natural area where Indians live, Red River, and I forgot what it's called, but it's like Indians, churches, St. It's so good. So my
To share one thing that your partner said about a landmark. Caitlin?
Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
Great Wall of China.
Great Wall of China.
The
The Alamo. Josh?
The restaurant on top of
That you guys just named to me were all landmarks, but they're all landmarks that are actually something that is not just a place. So what we're going to look at is the definition really quickly of a landmark, and then I'm going to show you some additional things. I'm going to lighten this little guy up a little bit. You can leave it off. It's okay. I'm going to go right back. I'll just lighten it. Okay, it says up here, if you look at the definition of landmarks, that landmarks may be natural or may be made by people. Do you think that most of the landmarks that we just heard were made? Hey, what about this?
Natural.
Naturals. Anybody been to Enchanted Rock?
No.
Before? Okay, good. All right. Fabulous answer. Rio Grande, remember, is the river that runs from El Paso all the way down to Brownsville, and it helps to divide the two countries of the United States from Mexico. Okay, the one on the right is another one. This is where you were, Kylie. This is between Oklahoma and Texas. The Red River. Okay, we've talked about that before when we travel and go across the bridge. All right, it could be a landmark. I mean, it was made by people. and it does represent things, and it does mean something. So what we're going to do today is we're going to jump back into our research project. What we're going to think about when we think about landmarks, when it's time for you to jump in and choose your leader that you're going to create a landmark for, I want you to think about the pictures that we just looked at. Some are statues of people, some are places like the Alamo, and sometimes they're symbols of things that represent the person. Okay? So what I want you to do is we have our books on the back counter. We're going to jump back into, you can start with the same book that you researched with yesterday, or you can switch books and choose a different book, because the first few questions you need to be going through and finding lots of different people and lots of different qualities of a good leader. Once you fill those boxes up, move on to question 2. Any questions? All right, I'm also going to put a list. I'm also going to put a list of character traits up on the board. So yesterday we talked about some good character traits of a leader. Here's some wonderful words. If you're having trouble coming up with what that character trait is that matches their action, it's up there. Okay? All right, let's get going. I'm going to turn the lights back on. Table group and help the other people talk about some of the characteristics that you're finding of a good leader. What are some of the character traits or qualities that you found? Go ahead and share with each other. Get some ideas and help each other out.
Bessie Coleman skis. Okay. Brave, first black lady to fly a plane.
Josh, can we turn and sit knee to knee, please? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth again with our partner, but what we're going to do is we're going to list the character traits, not the text evidence that we found to support it, just the character traits, and we're going to go back and forth. When you're done and you've gotten to the bottom of yours, if the other person still has more, you can list them. So I'm going to give you an example. I might say polite, reasonable, reliable, serious, focused, determined. Those would be mine. I would go back and forth with my partner just like we did earlier.
Yeah, please say the
What we're going to do is we're going to share some of those things that you heard. So if you have a good quality that you heard, which is a quality of a good leader, that's what we're focusing on, that your partner said, please raise your hand. And we'll write it up on the board. Sarah? Okay, we have brave. Braden.
Unwise.
What I want to talk today is about the differences between good traits of a leader, and then sometimes we notice that some of these are negative traits. Wouldn't you agree? Do you think that unwise and rule breaker and arrested? Good idea. When we read the event, we thought, ooh, that's crazy. And when you read some of the women's suffrage books, you'll read a little bit about some of the things that they did, like chaining themselves to